Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I would like to cover the Penguin Classics Avengers collection, the hardcover version. This volume does exist as a softcover version that I've seen in my shop, Phantom of the Attic here in Pittsburgh, a number of times. When I was meandering around Amazon about a month and a half ago, I saw that there was this gorgeous green hardcover version of this, and I'm guessing either shops have passed on it because I've never seen it in a comic shop, or it's just not available. Maybe it's an Amazon exclusive through Penguin. I'm not sure, but I'm a sucker for something unique like this. I do love the green livery and the gold images and lettering. It's very cool. And I thought it would be fun to cover it on the show. It really covers an interesting spread of Avengers history, and that's the whole point. And it has really some nice features that tick a lot of my boxes when it comes to a reprint collection. First off, let's just compare it to this Epic Collection, Volume 3, The Masters of Evil. You can see it's a bit beefier than your standard Epic collection. It's a little taller, a little larger. So just by comparison, we'll put that aside and let's get into it. Now, I love the end papers on this. As far as I know, production-wise, this is a glued binding. I can't detect that it's a sewn binding, but it seems really solid. And I love gorgeous use of end papers like this. We have Zemo and Ultron on the front, and the Enchantress and Loki, Zemo and Ultron are on the back. Enchantress and Loki are in the front end papers. So I love when companies, printers use end papers for stuff like this. In a game book, I love end papers that actually have charts on them and things like that that make it useful for play, reference. But here, focusing on the art like this is really nice. And this has, if you're familiar with Penguin Classics, Literary Classics, this has all of the trappings of the Penguin Classics Literary Classics series. It's got wonderful ephemera, including bios on the creators. It has numerous epilogues and introductions. And forward is by Lee Bardugo, edited with an introduction by Jose Alanis, and series editor is Ben Saunders. So, what does this issue cover? What does this volume cover? Avengers 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, the Wonder Man issue. 16, Cap's Kooky Quartet. 26, 28, 44, 57, the First Vision. 58, 71, 74, 83, and then some other little bits that we'll see at the end here. Like I said, published in 2023. Still available. Now this was $50. I think I paid a little less than that in an Amazon sale. But I consider this to be well worth it. So let's page through the introduction here. And then the foreword by Lee Bardugo. Then there's a volume introduction where they talk about the various issues collected and give a little bit of reason as to why each issue was included. I'll just read a snippet here. The Coming of the Wonder Man, Avengers number 9, October 64, included in this collection, showcases Heck's gifts. Among other things, he was noted for drawing beautiful women, like this issue's villain, the Enchantress. The story also features the first appearance of Simon Williams, inventor, embezzler, who undergoes exposure to Zemo's ionic rays to transform him into the ultra-powerful living engine of destruction, Wonder Man. But at a terrible price, the source of his powers will kill him within a week, unless he regularly receives an antidote. So I love, too, how everything in here is footnoted as well, which is really cool. So, of course, we're going to get some Big John Buscema. And we get a nice bibliography here. And every issue is introduced with a white page with the issue number and the date. And then we get a beautiful representation of the cover and the actual story. And I think what's nice about these too is they're closer to the size of what the Silver Age comics were when they were published. They were a little larger. That's why it is bigger than the Epic collection. So, and even in that way, it's truer to the format than even I originally realized until just now. And I haven't talked about it yet, but you knew I was going to if you watch my channel. I love this paper. It's not slick. It feels like an upgunned Baxter paper. And it reproduces beautifully. So yeah, I can't say enough about how great this this reproduction, the quality is on these stories. And what a timeless image, so awesome here. Hulk masquerading as a robotic clown at a circus. just really cool. Here he wipes his makeup off. The jig is up, they've caught him. Yeah, so the first 4 issues of Avengers are really spent a lot with the Avengers kind of fighting each other. And you're going to see that play out if you get this collection or you have access to the Epic collection that has these issues. So they agree to team up after defeating Loki. Now issue 2, the Space Phantom shows up and ruins everything. His ability to impersonate characters sows distrust among the Avengers. And of course, Hulk, already a volatile character, to say the least. He, by the end of this story, wants no part. I love that cutaway of the cybernetic controls that Giant Man has, so he can still control insects, even though he's not Ant-Man anymore. Yeah, very cool. And of course, here we get the Avengers number 3, the team up with Hulk and Submariner. Still Kirby here. Love this transformation sequence. Really nice. Oh, and that is Rick Jones and the Teen Rangers. Iron Man, Tony Stark, in one of the many versions of his armor. I kind of like this early version with the V in the helmet, you know, the way the face mask would come up. These early fights with the Hulk, too, are pretty great. I like the Hulk's personality here. He had not yet degenerated into the Hulk smash era. That was coming, but it would be slow over a number of issues. And here he's kind of crafty and surly and a brute, but not a complete childlike monster like he would become. He was very much like Mr. Fix-It, the Grey Hulk that Peter David would introduce in the late 80s, early 90s. So yeah, this fracas between Submariner, Hulk, and the Avengers ends without a real conclusion, as Hulk transforms back into Banner. Submariner makes his escape. And then we have the fateful issue 4, Captain America lives again. Captain America joins the Avengers. Now, if you go back on my show, I don't remember the episode number, but I did a whole episode on the different artist takes of this particular scene right here, where Cap is pulled from the ocean waves and eventually awakens. And once realizing where he is, agrees to join the Avengers. This issue 4 is a really great story. I don't chase a lot of Grail comics. You know, I would love to get, I have a coverless copy of Hulk 181, first full Wolverine, but I would like to get a better version at some point. I would also like to get at least a coverless version of Avengers number 4, because I don't know, it's a special issue for me. I love Cap so much. Now we're on to Avengers 9, first Wonder Man. Don Heck by this time and Dick Ayers are doing the artwork. And this is important, I think, because Wonder Man obviously becomes an important character in Avengers history. He also is so intimately tied for so long to the Vision and his origin that he really just is, even though he's gone for a long time, because he dies at the end of this issue, supposedly. He's gone for a long time, but his presence still looms in the Avengers' lives through the Vision, through his brother, the Grim Reaper, who hates the Avengers because he believes they were responsible for Simon Williams' death. Here's the first appearance of a letters page, and that's another thing I want to point out about this. I love this collection because we get the letters pages. Now, I know omnibuses have letter pages as well, but that format I don't think is a friendly format to just read comics in. But this is, and this looks great. So originally, the letter column was called All About the Avengers. And we'll see later on that that changes too. Next up, Avengers 16, Cap's Kooky Quartet. Really great recruitment sequence here. We get to learn about Hawkeye, who I recently covered the Hawkeye Epic Collection, Volume 1, with a lot of this. This very issue was in there, because that's when Hawkeye joins the Avengers. Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, formerly of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, are now members. And here we have some of their foes reacting. Will the Avengers become weaker or stronger? No matter how they change their roster, they must be destroyed. I almost defeated them once. Next time I shall not fail. I must follow every development, for soon I shall strike again. The Avengers, I shall never rest until they have been destroyed forever. It's funny that Kang, a master of time, is going to follow the events, because wouldn't you think he already knew about them? But hey, it's comics. Another letter page. We're still all about the Avengers, and we can also see the Mighty Marvel checklist. What else was coming out that month? I like, too, how you get two pages of letters, which is awesome. And I did comb through these letters ahead of time, looking for any interesting letter writers, and I'm sure all these letters are cool and compelling, but I didn't see any big names. Here we are with issue 26, and this one is still Don Heck, inked by Frankie Ray. It's interesting that Wasp is captured here, because in another issue, she's also captured. So early on, the Wasp was not a very effective Avenger, whereas the Scarlet Witch could be, and often was. The Wasp was not. And of course, later on, that was corrected. She became a pretty effective Avenger. And then when Roger Stern took over the title, she became a badass and the leader of the Avengers. Really cool. She went through some stuff and came out the other end, a really great character. And here we have the letters page has been changed to Avengers Assemble. Not sure when that happened, as this is not reprinting consecutive issues, obviously, but a neat note nonetheless. And I love this too. Just really cool that they put this little spot art in the letters page. Avengers 28, May 1966. Among Us walks a Goliath. So this is the first Goliath. Hank Pym returns. Love the Don Heck, Frankie Ray artwork in this one too. And this is the second story where the Wasp has been captured. This time by the Collector. Last time it was Atuma. This time it's the Collector. And such a great design. What a cool character. And bonus, because I don't know if I've ever read this issue before. We get the Beetle in his classic costume, which I love. He is the heavy of the Collector. He's working for the Collector. And we see Pym adopts the role of Goliath. They're thinking, can he transform? Can he grow? And he does. he is able to shrink back down. Put a pin in that. I love this sort of alien visage of the collector here, and he would, this look would continue with him over the years. There was another crazy version of him where he's got, like, his face is obscured and he has these weird tentacles coming out of his head. But I prefer the classic collector look. And we can see Beetle in action here against Cap, which is great. They've never done a 28 millimeter figure of the Beetle in this classic outfit. That would be something great to see, maybe on Etsy, maybe somewhere someone's done a STL of him, a 3D print version. Love it here how Goliath has seized the collector. And here he has the Wasp trapped. Quicksilver steals her back. And then he and Beetle make their escape through time. And here, Goliath tries to return to his normal height, and he's trapped at 10 feet. And that's going to be a subplot running through the next few issues. How can he cure himself? Avengers Assemble, our letters column again. Next up, Avengers 44. In our first John Buscema issue of this series, really nice. Inked by Vinnie Coletta, the veteran inker. Love the corner box here with our heads. Really cool. And I think by this time, Hercules has sort of joined the team, although he's not officially a team member. And he's so powerful that they distract him this issue. He's fighting illusions for pretty much the whole issue. So that leaves the more normally powered Avengers to deal with the communist threat, including the Red Guardian, who is the Russian version of Captain America. And we're going to see a pretty cool brawl between him and Cap coming up right here. Very cool. I like how he has his weighted discs that he throws. You can see it right there. Cap just smashes it out of the air. Of course, Goliath battling some cool, this cool robotic tank. Looks like there is someone driving it. Love to see this use of Quicksilver with his powers here. Really nice. Buscema is, as I've raved on and on this show about him, just a masterful artist. Never liked superheroes, but man, could he draw them. It didn't matter. I mean, he certainly would have preferred to be drawing Conan, but I think there was a quote, and I'm paraphrasing it, drawing superheroes put food on my table and pay the rent. And that's what Buscema was. He was a professional artist. And that's the Black Widow there. And next issue, Blitzkrieg in Central Park. Help, we're buried by mail. You got to limit your Lilton letters to only one page. Otherwise, we can't read or publish them. So keep them short, believers. Don't let your bloodshot bullpen down. So that's pretty great. Mary Marvel Marketing Society advertisement here. Very cool. Now we're on to issue 57. And George Klein inks on John Buscema's pencils on this are awesome. Again, people associate John Buscema's first Avengers run with Tom Palmer, but really Tom Palmer only inked a handful of Buscema issues in this run. There were a number of other accomplished inkers, Coletta, Klein, others, Giacoya, who inked Buscema during this period. Oh, I love this revision of the Goliath costume. And so we have the first vision. He was, of course, created to destroy the Avengers, but by Ultron. And I don't know if in here we get into the origin of his brainwaves and his association with Simon Williams yet with Wonder Man. That's probably coming. So The Vision is going to turn on his creator. Ultron 5 does not change his mind and has not even an artificial heart as you do. But realizing that I had created you with such great powers, I knew I could only defeat you by lowering your guard. Really awesome. And of course we get this awesome take on Ozymandias at the end. Of course, this will not be the last of Ultron. And we get 58. Even an android can cry. Such a famous story. Again, George Klein inking John Buscema. I should add Roy Thomas is writing these. If you don't see in the credits. Oh, this is so nice. John Buscema, just a master storyteller, a master of the open panel. Here they're testing the Vision. And learning just how powerful he is. And he is quite powerful. Look at this. Great full page. Almost pinup of the Avengers assembled, dare I say. And Vision wondering, who am I? What name is mine? So a lot of Vision's pathos is tied up in his identity and his origin. So we're going to learn more about the origin of the Vision. And here is where it's revealed that Vision's brainwaves were patterned after Simon Williams. And we get a quick reviso of the events of Avengers number 9, done in just a page and a half, maybe a page and 3/4, masterfully by Buscema and Klein. And look at that beautiful full page. Is the Avengers extend an invitation for the Vision to join their ranks, and he is so moved that he weeps. Avengers 71, another great one. This one has Sal Buscema and Sam Granger on the art, and it's really good. It's got the Black Knight, Kang. The Avengers are lost in time. And I think there was a Marvel Super Action I did on the show that covers this, the story that follows on from this issue. Maybe 72. Oh, really great there. Another pinup worthy final page. Then finally, I think Avengers 74. This might be the last issue or second to last issue. And so here we have the Palmer-Buscema pairing. And yes, it is better than anything we've seen before in this book, in my humble opinion. It is fantastic. And I think that's why people say, oh yeah, the Buscema's first run, oh yeah, Buscema Palmer, so great. And it was, but it just wasn't as, Buscema did a lot more issues without Palmer than he did with him. Now they're battling the racist Sons of the Serpent, one of those foes you love to hate. Okay, so this is 83, I think, is going to be our last issue, last full issue. Yeah, it's the Lady Liberators. Really nice. And we get another Buscema Palmer pairing. I love it. We get to see John draw some really beautiful women in action. Very cool. Oh, this is the famous superhero parade. Really great. The Meltor shows up. Yeah, so this is a Masters of Evil fight. Oh, why are these pages like this? Well, in the past, Marvel would publish pieces of the story on the top of the page and then advertisements on the bottom. So to preserve the advertising-free nature of this reprint, they've kind of just chosen to center them here. It might have been an interesting idea to put them one atop the other, but that would have messed up the pagination, I think. So, great story here with the Lady Liberators. Of course, spurred on by the Enchantress. And Hawkeye is a true, or I should say Goliath. That's Clint Barton, Hawkeye as Goliath is a true chauvinist pig in this one. We still have our Avengers Assemble letter column. It's still 2 pages. Get a little house ad. Again, I would love to see a collection just of these house ads. And we get a bit from Tales to Astonish 27, Man in the Anthill. This is, I guess, first Ant-Man prior to Hank Pym actually becoming Ant-Man. This was kind of an incredible shrinking man joint that they were doing here. And in the end, he gives up the serum, but of course we know he doesn't. And then excerpt from Avengers Annual #1, More Than Meets the Eye, which is basically an awesome look at the Avengers headquarters, Avengers Mansion. I love these sorts of cutaways. This is what made the Marvel Universe feel real for readers in the Silver Age. And suggestions for further reading. And then, of course, our notes that were footnoted earlier in the intros and stuff. So, yeah, really a tremendous one. I've had this for, about 6 weeks. I've been meaning to fit it in. Here it is. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.